What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sitting down to film my favorite makeup products of 2019, which, first of all, what do you mean 2019 is over? What do you mean the decade is over? So to distract myself from having an existential crisis over the matter, I figured I would sit down and let you guys know what makeup products stood out to me this year, because there were quite a number of them that I tried for the first time on this channel, and a good amount of those have actually become part of my regular makeup routine, and I would like to share those with you today. You may be wondering why I'm wearing a tank top when it's essentially January at this point. God, every time the heat comes on in my house, we have like these old school radiators, like steam radiators, and they're amazing because they work fantastic, but holy shit, it gets hot in here sometimes. Sometimes they work a little too good, you know what I mean? Girls getting some sweaty pits. So about 90% of the list I'm about to share with you guys is makeup, but I did throw in a few skincare items just that I thought were either something that's really good and worth checking out, or there's one, you guys, stay tuned to the little skincare section, because I have been using this one lip product for the last couple of months, and holy shit, like, I can't believe it's so good. And I've been holding out talking to you guys about it because it was like so good that I doubted myself and thought I was imagining it, and now I've made a few other people try it and they actually agree with me, and I'm going to show you. I have before and afters and everything. I'm going to put timestamps to each section, like face stuff, the palettes, the lip stuff, the skincare stuff. I'll timestamp each of those sections down below if there's one that you want to jump to. I feel like I'm gonna have to do a lot of talking, so I'm gonna get right into the meat and potatoes of this. Before we do, though, please leave a like on this video because it's essential to my survival here on YouTube, and I appreciate it every damn time. And also, if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe, because it's gonna be a new year soon, or I think it might already be a new year when you're seeing this. But going into 2020, we're gonna have some good ass content. I'm excited. Some Q&A type videos I want to film. We have so many 3 looks videos that I'm already anticipating doing just from seeing previews of stuff, and I'm fucking hyped about it, and you should be too. So go ahead and subscribe because I would love to have you join me for that. My hair's a little weird today, and I'm not sure if it looks really good or really bad, so if it looks really bad, don't make fun of me. I think that's all we need to talk about before we get started. So let's just get into the list, and I'm going to start going into the base products first. The first base product on my list, this is not an unusual opinion. This is not a surprise, probably, if you've watched my recent videos, but my favorite foundation of 2019 was by far and away the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. I have 2 shades here because my shade is 40 NN, and for some reason every time I go to the store that one's not there, so usually I just buy 41 NN and 31 NN and mix them together. I don't know of any other foundation that sits as well as these. They look the most skin-like of any foundation I've ever used. The only one that comes close to this, in my personal opinion, is Armani Luminous Silk, and I think that this is better than Armani Luminous Silk. It also wears for longer. It's just, I don't know how they did what they did, but they did it, and it's fantastic. I'm wearing this foundation right now. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing most of the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video on my face right now, because that way you guys get to see a little example of them. I point to them. This is the foundation. Honestly, I feel like when I put this foundation on, you can't tell me shit. It's perfect. It's perfect. I don't know of anything that they could improve, quite frankly. Honorable mention goes to the Stay Naked concealer. I absolutely love this concealer as well. Personally, this is like the perfect day-to-day concealer for me. I sometimes still find myself using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer if I'm having a day where I feel like I need that, or I'm like, ooh, you look a little rough this morning, you could use something extra. I still reach for the Too Faced for that, but this has been my everyday go-to concealer since I got it. One more Urban Decay base product before we move on to other brands, because Urban Decay has been killing it on base products this year, if you ask me. I feel like their palettes have been pretty good, but like the base products have really been where they've been shining. The Urban Decay One and Done, the ultimate brush off set and go powder. Personally, shorten the name, friends. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say on camera. It's a lot to type into Google. But This is my favorite powder, and I thought for sure that this little brush situation was going to be a huge gimmick and then I was going to hate it, but the brushing here actually works really, really well. The only place I don't find that the brush works that great is under the eye area, because I feel like I can't get all the way up to like underneath my eyelashes with it, but for the rest of the face, it's super handy. I find that it looks the most natural underneath my eyes. I do have a powder that I love for brightening as well, and this one may not come as a surprise to you guys either, because I have spoken about it on this channel. I also think I reviewed it on this channel if I'm not mistaken. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in the shade Vanilla. If I need a spot on my face brightened up, this is what I reach for every single time. This is the most intensely brightening setting powder I think I've ever used, maybe ever, in my entire life. It just looks like a matte highlight the second you put it on. What I like to do is sometimes I use it on my under eyes if I'm having a day where I look a little bit more worn out. Maybe I need that help, probably on a day where I'm reaching for my Too Faced concealer instead of my Urban Decay. Or sometimes I'll use this like along my jawline, like I'll cut under my contour with this just to bring that forward, because I don't have the strongest jaw in the world. So bringing that forward and highlighting that area kind of makes my jawline look a little bit more defined. So this is my favorite for that. It sits really smoothly on the skin. It doesn't look heavy, but it does brighten an area up and bring sort of a matte highlight to your skin where you need it, and I just think it's lovely and fantastic, and if you're looking for something like that, I highly recommend. As far as highlights are concerned, I have two favorites and they have different purposes, much like the setting powders. So the first one, this is my overall favorite. This is the NABLA Skin Glazing Highlighter. This is the shade Amnesia. This is the one, oops, I almost dropped it. This is the one that I find myself reaching for the most often. I find that this highlight is just, it lives up to the name. It really just puts a nice glaze over your skin. I'm wearing this right now combined with the other highlighter that I'm about to tell you about, but I usually use it by itself. What I like to do is do my base and then use my setting spray and then put this over the top with like a tiny highlight brush, and it just gives your skin like this dewy kind of glassy wet finish that I absolutely love. They have such an array of colors. There are colors for pretty much any skin tone. The second highlighter that I love, this one is for the folks who love an absolutely obnoxiously bright highlight. This is the Cookie Highlighter from Benefit Cosmetics. I got to try this about a year ago. I'm not sure if it was out yet. I'm not sure if I got it when I was on a trip to San Francisco with Benefit or shortly after, but I got it. I loved it, and then I lost the one that they gave me, and they recently just sent me a new one, and I almost forgot how insane this highlighter is. This is honestly the brightest shit I've ever seen in my life. What I like to do is use this in the very concentrated areas of my face to like literally add like a highlight, like a light spot right on my cheek or like the tip of my nose. Like I'll show you the brush that I used today with this. It's so tiny. This is a crease brush from NABLA, and this is what I go in to Cookie with this and just like tap it right in like the most concentrated little spots that I want it in, just to give me like that like burst of light, which is weird to me, and I didn't expect that from Benefit, because Benefit kind of has like a more subtle, natural feel to their whole line of products. This is not that. It's obnoxiously bright in the best way, and I love it because it's really white. I don't think that it's going to do well on deeper skin tones, but if you're like medium light fair, this is one shiny ass highlight, and if you like that, you're gonna love it. All right, for the next little section, we're gonna talk about what people love the most. We're gonna talk about palettes. I have done looks with so many eyeshadow palettes this year, like so many, like so painfully many. But I narrowed it down to 5. If you watch this channel all the time, you're probably not going to be surprised by them at all. But I just want you to know that it was really difficult, and I had to cut out some that I really love with my whole heart. First and foremost, and I think personally for me, palette of the year is the Melt Muerte palette. I have done so many damn looks on this channel with this palette. You guys are probably sick of seeing it by now. The color story is everything I've ever dreamed of. These are literally my favorite colors in the world. The packaging is stunning, 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 stunning. If I could use this as a piece of home decor, I would. The formula is beautiful. The colors are vibrant and deep and rich, and they all blended well. And I don't know if I could love a palette more than I love this palette. Eventually a palette will come and dethrone this, but for now, this palette owns my life. In the same vein of very, very bright palettes that I did a lot of looks with here on this channel, we have NORVINA Volume 2. The NORVINA full-size palettes, I really liked all of them, but Volume 2, oh my god, the colors in here, holy shit. I had such a good time playing with these shades. Oh god, the mirror is revealing to you the clutter on my desk, and I don't want you to know the truth. I loved doing the looks that I did from this palette. I loved playing with this and combining it with other palettes. I reach for this palette all the time. The brights are beautiful, the neutrals are beautiful, the shimmers are beautiful. It's beautiful. The only thing that I don't really love is the butterflies on the front, because I don't know, butterflies as a motif is just not it for me. It just doesn't do it. But I don't give any shits at all because the quality of the packaging is really good, and the interior, I just love it so much. Next, we have one that is a little bit less colorful, but personally I find very necessary. And if I'm being entirely honest, the one that I reach for the most often, like if I'm just living my life and I gotta get cute really quick, this is what I pick up. This is the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. I was really stoked on this palette the moment it came out because I love Urban Decay palettes in general, and just something about the packaging and the color story of this really spoke to me. But I didn't think that I would love it as much as I do, because really when you boil it down, it's like a neutral and golds palette, but it's just something about them. They just work so well together. I know that anything that I choose out of here, it's just all gonna work together. I think I may have said this in the video that I did with this palette, but as far as the line of Naked palettes is concerned, previous to this, Naked Heat was my favorite. This is 100% my favorite Naked palette at this point. Hopefully they continue making ones that I like this much, because I love having these in my collection. I just feel like these neutrals are just interesting enough to be like more fun than a regular neutral palette, but still put together and simple enough to use to be for every day. If you like yellows and golds, it's just my compliments to the chef. I love this palette. Getting back into a little bit more color though, and also going back to Melt Cosmetics, the Impulsive palette. I love this palette. I find that I get a lot of use out of this palette as well, just because the colors in it, while they are maybe not the most neutral, are, I don't know, they just all work, and it kind of has your bases covered for everything. I like this palette for when I need to go somewhere and bring my makeup with me and I don't know what I'm going to do with my makeup yet. Like I said earlier, the Melt formula is one of my favorites. I know some people aren't that super crazy about it. It always works for me for the most part. Like I had a little bit of trouble with the Vita palette, but outside of that, 99% of the time, the Melt eyeshadow formula I find phenomenal. The only thing that I don't love is that the packaging is a little bit bulky, because if you can see here, it's kind of like on different levels. So it's thick in this direction. That I don't love as much because it takes up more room in my drawer, it takes up more room in my bag, and it is a little bit heavy to carry around with me. Outside of that, this has been one of my favorite palettes of the year for sure. And last but not least, you know we couldn't get through this without a ColourPop palette, because goddamn have I done a lot of videos with their palettes this year. I've narrowed it down, and my favorite ColourPop palette of the year is definitely X's and O's. I love this palette. It looks so simple, but some of the shimmers in here are just so damn unique, specifically the color Rookie. It's just beautiful. It's like pink with a blue shift, and it like has a little bit of a brown undertone, and it just looks so interesting and pretty on the eye. Everything in here performed really beautifully. I really, really like this palette a lot. And again, I think that you can either get a very easy day-to-day look with it, or you can get something very interesting, something bold, something creative, and everything you need is right here in the palette. Not to mention that the aesthetic of this palette, the color of the packaging, all of that is really right up my street as well. Just, it's like as if ColourPop made this one for me. I know they didn't, but like in my heart, I like to think that they did. Now onto the lip products. Now, for the last year or so, I have been so into satin finish lipsticks and lip gloss, and those have been like my go-to all the time. You guys know I'm always going on about how I love a juicy nude. I also love a juicy color as well, but when I say I love a juicy nude, what I mean is like a beautiful nude lip with some dimension that just looks like just wet and juicy and plump and stuff, you know, like not flat, just like delish, you know what I mean? And my favorite satiny finish lipstick of the year is, to be honest with you, one of my favorites is actually the Sansa Stark lipstick from the Urban Decay Game of Thrones collection. I freaking love that lipstick, but I'm not going to include it because it was limited edition and I don't think they have it anymore. But there was a whole line of lipsticks that I like just as much. That is the Love Me lipsticks from MAC. They're just the smoothest, most comfortable, easiest lipsticks pretty much ever. The color that I have in my hand right now is their shade DGAF, which is one of the shades that I find myself reaching for least often. But the reason I picked this one up is because it's upstairs, because the other ones, like the nude shades and the pink shades, they're all in my purse because I wear them that often. I did a review on these. I will link it here on the screen. I did swatches of every single color because MAC was kind enough to send them to me. So if you want to see more in depth, you can go check that out there. But just something about the creaminess of these, the way they sit on the lips, like I almost feel like they make the lines in your lips less obvious. Like it kind of sits on top of them instead of settling in. They just look really smooth. They're so comfortable to wear. They're easy to apply. They're just awesome. And I'm super excited to see these be a part of MAC's lipstick lineup. And I hope that they start including this formula in like their holiday launches and their big collections and stuff, because I just enjoy the formula of these so much. The next one is also a satin lipstick. I also reviewed them, and you can also check that video out here if you'd like to see swatches of all the shades. These are the NABLA Creamy Dreamy Liquid Lipsticks. I already loved NABLA's liquid lipsticks to begin with. They're some of my favorites, but when they said they were releasing a creamy satin finish version, I damn near lost my mind. I'm wearing this on my lips right now just with like a random red liner, but this is the shade Mood for Love. This has been like my favorite comfy, not quite a bright red that's still red lately. And again, the reason that I'm wearing this one and also holding this one is pretty much because I didn't feel like going downstairs and get the nude shades out of my purse, because my purse is literally filled with MAC Love Me lipsticks and NABLA Creamy Dreamy lipsticks right now, with like 3 different tubes of the Bite Agave lip mask. Like it's ridiculous at this point. The reason I love these is because, again, they're just that really perfect amount of shine but not gloss. Sit really nicely, they wear really nicely. With a few of the shades, like I said in my review, I did notice some feathering around the edge of my lip by the end of the day. I don't know if I just over applied it because I haven't really had that issue since, but I also have been pairing them with a liner ever since, so I can't tell if I had just applied too much in the beginning or if the liner is what's helping. But the finish on these, the way they look, the way they wear, and the shade range, I just think is phenomenal. I love NABLA. I think they're an incredible brand, and they are now available for you guys to actually pick them up at US retailers, which makes it so much easier, because before I found myself recommending these things all the time and you guys had to order them from the website and it was like converted from euros, and it was just, it's so much easier now. But if you like satin liquid lipsticks, like if you like the Dose of Color satin finished liquid lipsticks, I think you'll absolutely love these. I think I might be leaving most matte liquid lipsticks in 2019 for the most part. Not completely, okay, don't get crazy, but for the most part, I think satin lips are taking over my life. I think they are. And the other thing that I have been so into this year, for the first time probably in a decade, is gloss. But there was one gloss that really stood out to me this year, and that is the ColourPop So Juicy gloss. This is the shade Princess Cut, which is just clear. Princess Cut is by far my favorite of all of them. These are so glassy and so shiny, but so comfortable to wear. I love these. I really rarely reach for any other clear gloss besides this one at this point. They are very minty, and I know some people find that annoying. Personally, they're not so minty that they bother me, but if you don't like peppermint feeling on your lips, you might not like them. But oh my god, they're just so, The plumping, I don't really think does anything, quite frankly. I really don't. But my God, they just look so damn good, and they're ColourPop, so they're not that expensive. I just think that these are like the best glosses that came out this year. I find myself reaching for this the most out of any gloss that I own, even over my Fenty lip glosses, which is really saying something because I really love those. Okay, this brings us to our final section of products, and that is skincare. For the first item, I actually don't have any on hand because I'm a dum-dum and I used my last one last night. But the PIXI sheet masks are becoming my favorite sheet masks for several reasons. First of all, there are two different types. There are the collagen boost and the glycolic boost ones. I like both of them. The glycolic one I feel like makes my skin look really bright and very fresh, and the collagen one is a little bit more moisturizing and hydrating, and I find that it kind of makes my skin look a little bit more plump. But in general, I find that both of them make my skin feel really nice and moisturized and look really good, especially like the next morning. I feel like I wake up with a very good skin day usually when I use them, which is always nice. But besides the fact that I find that they work really well, as most PIXI skin products tend to, I feel like they have some of the best, more affordable skincare. They're also easily available. Like, they have them at Target. You could just pick them up, pick up one or two. You don't have to order them online and wait for them to show up, which is ideal for me because a lot of times I'm like, oh, I just need something to like throw on my skin. I don't want to wait 3 days for it to show up from Sephora or something like that. I don't know about long-term effects because I'm no skincare expert, but as far as like putting something on and your skin looks a little better after, I really, really like these a lot. This final product, I still am not 100% in belief that this works as well as it does, okay? This is the ALGENIST Genius Liquid Collagen for Lips. Now, I got a sample of this with like something I bought from Sephora, and I just used it on a whim because usually I take those little blister pack samples and toss them away or give them to somebody else because they just build up and I never wind up using them. But for some reason, because I think it was the little balls that are in here, it intrigued me and I wound up using it. I put this on my lips, I layered it under my other lip products that I always wear to bed, and I woke up the next morning and I looked in the mirror and I was like, did I get my friggin' lips done overnight and not remember it? Because my lips looked so full and so smooth, and I was like, really? Can this really be that stuff that I used last night? So that night, I put it on before bed again. That was like the last half of the sample. I put it on under my other lip products, and again, the next morning, I woke up and my lips looked fantastic. Now, granted, my lips always kind of look better in the morning. They look bigger and smoother always when I wake up, but it stayed that way all day, like way more so than it normally would. They just looked plump and full the whole day. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this product a go. I'm gonna give it the old college try. But remember, I have now run out of the sample. So there are a couple of days in between here. There's a gap of time between when I was using the product and when I could use it again. So didn't use it the next night, woke up the next morning and my lips looked normal. And I'm like, okay, am I really losing my shit? Am I losing my goddamn mind? So I decided I was going to take before and after pictures. While I was waiting for my full size to arrive, I took pictures of what my lips looked like, just in natural lighting with nothing on them. No balm, no gloss, no liner, nothing. And then when this came again, I took a picture of the next morning after using it. And this is what the before and after looks like. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I still don't believe that it works as well as it does, but this is what it does to my lips. I took those pictures, I believe it was mid-October, and I've been using this every single night ever since. I don't think my lips have ever looked this good. I have my mom using this now and she sees results. Now, my mom doesn't see as extreme a result as I did. Her lips are plumper and more full and even, and like they look just like a little bit more pouty and just generally more smooth. The smoothness of them is really like what makes me love it so much. But then I got my sister hooked on it, and my sister straight up looks like she's got lip injections when she uses this, and I quite frankly don't understand how it can possibly work so well. It does seem like it has different levels of effectiveness on different people's lips, and I don't think that it can take your actual lips and make them bigger. I don't think that that's the case, but I think what it does is like bring enough moisture to your natural lips that they wind up at their fullest potential, if that makes sense. For me, what I like the most about it is that it seems to like give more border definition to my top lip, which is always something that I didn't love about the way my lips looked, unless it was like when I first woke up in the morning and they were puffy. But this is what they look like when I'm not using it. This is what they look like when I'm using it. I still feel like I'm losing my mind and that it can't possibly work this well, but it seems like this is doing wonders for the way my lips look, and it also is really nice and hydrating when your lips are super dry without being heavy or greasy. Like it just kind of absorbs into your lips really quickly and makes them feel a little bit better. Overall, I really love this product. I have not ever felt this way about like a lip skincare type of a product. I'm super stoked on it. Please, if you try it, let me know if it works for you. I don't want to say all this and like get any of your hopes up and like have you go out and buy this and have it not work as well for you. So if you do decide to try it, maybe grab a sample first, or make sure you get it at like Sephora or somewhere where you can return it easily if you don't get these kinds of results, because I would hate for this to be some kind of a fluke and for you to think you're gonna go out and have like these voluptuous, amazing lips. On my word. But it really seems to me like it works really well. So if you can grab a sample, or if you can get it and make sure that if it doesn't work as well for you, that it's returnable, highly recommend at least trying it out, because I personally was shook. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what were your favorite products of 2019, whether they were makeup or skincare, palettes, lipsticks, whatever. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you loved. I would love to hear it. It also always gives me ideas for what I should check out. Or let me know if you had some of the same favorites. Also, let me know if you've tried the ALGENIST lip collagen and if it worked for you. I would love to know. Please leave a like on this video if you found it helpful, because I find it helpful, and who doesn't want everything to just be helpful for everybody? And if you're new around here, please go ahead and subscribe, because I would love to keep you around for future videos. We have a lot of fun things coming in 2020, and I would love to have you here for it. If you want to keep up with me between videos, please go find me on Instagram. I'm at Miss Quinface over there. It's a good old time. I update my stories a lot. We do polls. We talk about what's going on here on this channel. You guys get to see a little bit more of my day-to-day life and stuff. And also I post lots of makeup pictures, both from the stuff we do here on this channel and stuff that you won't see here, so get a little bit extra. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this at least a little bit interesting, because I know that I definitely talk too much and I'm gonna have to edit this down a lot. As always, I appreciate you hanging out with me and talking about makeup today, and I will see you in the next one.